episode 24 of the All for the Love show. You know what I'm saying? Before we even get to all of that and who I'm joined by and everything like that, man, I got to say something because this needs to be said. Now, you might catch me rapping the Sexy Red joint, the Ski Yee joint, because that shit is fire. And I'm a huge, hip hop fan, and I'm from the school of the Rakim and the Cool G and the Jay-Z and whoever else you want to name, and the Nas and Griselda. But I love that song. But the one thing, the two things you won't catch me doing, because I'm not going to do them. One, I'm not going to be sticking my tongue out when I rap the lyrics. And two, I'm not going to change my voice to a girl voice when I rap it. Like, I'm not doing either one of those things. I still got morals and values and principles and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? If y'all heard the little chuckle right there, that's producer Bethany, aka Professor Bethany, aka Mason Bethany. She's in the building with me. What's up, B?
What's up? What's up? I'm so happy to be here.
Yeah, man, I'm happy to have you always. Now we naming this episode Mar and B.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying that's what it is.
I like that.
Yeah, man.
Wait a minute. Don't look. We'll do a spinoff. It's nothing.
You know it ain't shit for us to do a little. You know what I'm saying? It ain't really shit.
It ain't nothing.
Listen, don't be surprised if y'all look up a couple months from now, a couple weeks from now, and y'all like, damn, they doing R&B albums and they calling them R&B.
Yep.
Like, don't be surprised now.
Okay.
Because we might pop up and do that. But we here. So how are you? How are things? What's new?
Yo, I'm well. I'm just, I'm gonna be real. I'm trying to fight off the fall and winter blues.
Oh man.
Around this time of year, the sun is starting to set a little bit earlier. It's dark and, the weather's changing, so you're not outside as much. But I'm going outside. I'm touching grass, literally.
Yeah.
Go get my bare feet into the grass. Go get some sun on my face. Outside playing basketball with my son. Like I'm actually in a great space, but I'm just trying to, make sure my time is going where it needs to be so I can feel good.
I like that.
Yeah.
I like that. Making sure your time go where it needs to be. That needs to be said because it's important because, I believe that at our big age, we don't have free time, we make time. You know what I'm saying? So
that's it.
You make time for things and you pull up for people who deserve to be pulled up for. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I feel like I'm on the same type of thing, man. Like when I have any time, I make time and I do my show. I make sure I show up for you when you need me or, just whatever, because you showed up for me, man, countless times, man. I'm going to say that for the end of the show. We'll talk about that later.
Okay.
But we do have a couple things to talk about, man. We got a couple things to talk about. But before we get to all of that stuff, we're going to talk about, some parenting stuff, because every time we talk, we always have these great conversations, and it always involves parenting because I look at the job that you're doing with your son, shout out to Prince, and it's incredible to see it. You know what I mean? And I know that I know that he appreciates it for sure. You know what I mean? We're gonna talk about the Drake album.
Yeah,
absolutely. We're gonna talk about the Drake album and the discourse around it, probably more so than the album. But I want to get to a couple questions real quick on a little segment I like to call "What Would You Do?"
Hey,
and this is for you.
Okay.
So let me ask you this, right? Because we saw the little debacle, the little oyster debacle on social media. You know what I mean? In case you guys don't know what's going on. Apparently, if this is real, right? Because people saying it was a hoax. I don't know, but if this is real, for the sake of the argument, Shorty went out on a date with a dude who was on her line, right? He was blowing her up. Yo, I want to take you out. I want to take you out. She said, "All right, cool, let's do it." They get to the spot. She orders. They drink a couple drinks. Got drunk. Then she proceeded to order 4 plates of oysters, which totaled out to like 48 joints. You know what I'm saying? First 48 actually. You know what I'm saying? Murdered them. First 48 style.
That has to be 4 orders. Literally 4 orders. Because they come in a dozen.
Yeah,
wow.
she showed it on the date in the footage. Here go my first plate. And she's making all the slurping noises and all that and everything, which, by the way.
I mean.
You order 4 plates of oysters on the day with me and you sounding like that. You can order 4 more if you want.
Because oysters are already an aphrodisiac. It's already supposed to get you in a certain mood.
Right.
Uh-huh.
But if I'm already here with you and you looking good, how you looking good, and you know what I mean, whatever, and you doing all of this and the sound effects, it's like, damn, this is going, that's just me personally. But anyway, so homie apparently was like, all right, enough is enough. Shorty's recording on the joint. She's recording the whole date. She ordered 4 plates. She ordered this. Then she ordered more food after that. She ordered like crab cakes, sweet potatoes, and
Oh.
that wasn't it. That wasn't the end of not at all. He ended up leaving without telling her. He just bounced. He went to the bathroom and said, "Yo, I'll be back." And she said it was 10, 20, 30 minutes later. So the question I want to ask you is, if you were on a date, I'm not saying you would have ordered 48 oysters, but if you were on a date with somebody and you peeped that maybe the energy wasn't where it needed to be, and your date got up and went to the bathroom and he never came back, what would you do? How would Bethany handle that situation?
Well, first of all, whenever I go out with a guy, I'm already bringing enough money to take care of my meal if anything happens. My dad taught me that you don't go anywhere with no money. Like, what are you
It's a
doing?
good man. Yeah.
But like, first of all, she has no etiquette. She has no date etiquette. Like, what is that? You don't go up in there and just pig out. I don't care if this nigga's been sending you DMs all day. You just like, here, nigga, here, let's just go out to eat, whatever, just to pacify him. Still, you're not supposed to go out there. That's sloppy. That's unladylike. That's uncouth. You know, like, like what are you doing? Yeah, it's a whole lot of uns. Girl, please.
But let me tell you this. Let me tell you this before you go any further. Let me tell you this. I did a little research, found her TikTok, and I scrolled back until an older video she posted, and basically it was like, one of the like little skit kind of voiceover joints where waiter was coming to her and it was like, a salad for the lady, and she was like, no, I need the steak, I need this, I need that, I need it. So you know what I mean? So like she's a habitual, you know what I mean? She's an eater. She's a real eater.
She's an eater.
You know what I mean? She's a real eater. You know what I mean? So, if that homie did the knowledge, he probably would have knew what I know and moved a different way. But that's just
for me, I'm gonna order an appetizer. I don't drink anymore, so I'm not gonna have a drink. I have an appetizer.
Okay.
I'll have my entree. If I'm in the mood, I'll have some dessert. If me and him are vibing and we decide to order certain dishes, if he's like, here, try some of this, I might have a little bit of his, but I'm not doing the most. Like, it's just so like, girl, it reminds me of that scene in Bebe's Kids when they go to the park and Robin buys them hamburgers and fries and they just tearing that shit up.
They went crazy.
And he was like,
they went crazy. Damn. He was like, nah, I know it's gonna be all this now. Yeah.
That's what it reminds me of. Like, act like you've been somewhere.
That's an A1 reference right there.
Damn.
Oh man, that's a great reference. Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that. Yeah. I respect that, man. Shout out to your pops too. Because that's a very important lesson to teach, because you don't go out there and just be asked out, like depending completely upon the person that you're on a date with. Because no matter what your rapport is up to that point, you only know this person up to that point.
Right.
You know what I mean? So yeah, man, I like that. Number 2, let's get to this, right? Let's keep it in the kind of dating vibe and in that kind of vibe. Let's say you're dealing with a dude and you know that he like to go to LA Fitness on the weekends or throughout the week or whatever, right? He get his gym session on, and then he might even hoop too. He play ball and he telling you every time you ask him when you come back, yo, how was your day? You know what I mean? He's like, yeah, I went up there, you know what I mean? Gave them niggas 12 and 4 and 3. You know what I'm saying? I had a good game, and you like, yo, I bet that's good numbers because you follow basketball. Rec league ball, 12, 4 and 3. You Jason Kidd, really? Like you him. You the team. If you ain't show up, niggas like, nah, we losing today if he ain't show up. Homie ain't come.
Right.
So let me ask you this. Let's say one day you was like, you know what? I got a red Saturday where I don't have to do anything. And I'm just about to pull up and I want to watch you hoop. And you get there and he getting cooked. Like he getting crossed up. Niggas is grabbing offensive rebounds on him. Because I think getting the offensive rebound grabbed on you consistently is way more embarrassing than getting like dunked on and crossed. Because like if you get dunked, I'm gonna tell you this. I'm in the minority with this. Getting dunked on means you tried.
Right.
I'm not mad at that.
Right.
Getting crossed over means you tried. That means the next time you got a chance to be better. Getting an offensive rebound means you did not try, and that person over there does not respect you, like at all. So let me ask you that. Let me ask you, how would you feel if he was telling you about his game and he was giving you the numbers and all that, and you got out there and you saw your man getting cooked.
This has happened to me before.
Oh no, I was afraid of that. I was afraid of that.
Okay, so the listeners may not know about me, but let me start off by saying this. My son's dad is an ex-NBA player. Okay?
Yep, he is.
He was a beast in college basketball.
Absolutely.
Beast. He did very well in the NBA, despite of what folks want to say about him.
Absolutely, he had a good career. He had a good career.
First of all, going to the NBA is no easy feat. I don't care what y'all think about.
And staying there is even harder.
And staying there, okay?
Yeah, no, he had a good career.
So I dated this guy who, used to talk about, man, I was so nice in college. I was so nice in high school. I got injured, blah, blah, blah. Cool, all right. And, he would play at the gym. They had like a league, a little team. And I don't want to put little in front of it. That's fucked up.
No. That was a decision. That was a choice.
And so we went to the gym because he was living in LA. And so he would come to Vegas and hang out. And he ended up meeting some folks out here that he could play with. So back in LA, he's like, yeah, I just had a game. I had 39. I was, killing it. I had like 10 rebounds. And I'm sitting there like, okay.
He kept it modest for you. He didn't say 40. He
right,
said
39.
Yeah.
Okay, very specific. And so I'm like, okay, because in my mind, I played ball too. And I went to NBA games like 3-4 times a week, with my ex. So I'm around basketball a lot. So he comes to Vegas. We go, I was going to work out, but one of the machines that I wanted to use was taken. So I'm like, let me go in here and see what he's in here doing. I was so disgusted.
Oh, man.
It really changed the way that I viewed him because
What was the one play that did it for you? Because I know it was one play. It might have been the whole thing in totality, but what was the one moment?
So the thing is, he's not in shape. So every time that he would tell me that he has, I had 35, I had 39, I'm like, okay, like.
Let me see who you playing against.
What? Like how? So what I noticed is that he would not cross the three. He would not go past each respective 3-point line.
Okay.
So he would shoot a 3, make or miss, whatever. Pretend like he's going to play a little bit of defense. They score. They inbound the pass right back to him, and he just shoots again. So I'm like, man, you ain't this. This is like a glorified 3-point shooting contest.
Yeah, you had 39 shot attempts?
Exactly. Like, how many times are you shooting to get 39 points? And so I never said anything. I just went back out to go finish my workout, and we didn't talk about it. And I was just like, damn, man, he out here really acting like he is MVP.
That's tough. I feel like you should have just. I feel like in that situation, saying less is more, bro. Like if you just say, "No, I got some good run out there," you know what I'm saying?
Right.
I still gotta get right. I still gotta get right. You know what I mean? I still gotta get back right.
Ain't nothing wrong with having something that you enjoy doing. Like basketball is something that you can do until your knees or your back is like, nigga, sit down.
I'm gonna tell you right now, dog. There's an old Asian dude that's at this basketball park right here by the crib. That my wife, she goes out there and she walks around the track every single day. Shout out to wifey. I go out there and I play basketball, right? Like they got like a couple rims out there and shit. This old dude is out there shooting around, getting his own rebounds and shit like that. But then in between him shooting, he'll ride the bike around the court. And then he'll get off the bike and he'll do like standing push-ups on the bench and all that. Like he getting his workout and he doing his thing. Yeah. So to your point, that's just good exercise. So it's like with me, I'm going out there shooting around. I got to get my win back right. You know what I'm saying? But the shot still work. The jump work is still there. Like it's still there.
Good.
But I got to get my win back. I got to get good. You know what I'm saying?
But for me and the guy that I was dating, like I was just so confused because he just was so like physically he didn't look like he did a damn thing. And when I watched him play, I'm like, oh, he ain't running. He ain't going baseline to baseline at all.
No, sir. None at
He's just
all. He said
catching
at
and
all.
shooting. Like he'll step
And
into the pass and like
nigga
let it
talking like he
go.
Clay Thompson, man. Like he
Right.
just caught that bitch and put up 60.
Right.
Yeah, nah,
Like
ain't
he
no way,
out
man.
there just killing niggas and no, no.
Nah, ain't no way.
But
Ain't no
I
way.
love basketball. I love to see people have fun playing. But don't
Yeah,
sit here and act like you you
yeah. I like
you
that.
Eddie
I
Jones
like
out
that.
here. Hey, come on.
Eddie Jones was dead nice. Oh man, please, please, we'll have a whole Eddie Jones podcast right now, please. Um, but yeah, I like that, man. I just want to get your take on a couple things, man. But so to get to what we came to talk about, right? A lot of times our best conversations involve parenting, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it involves us doing deep dives on parenting things that people may not necessarily talk about because everybody likes to parent for the big picture, not understanding that the small interactions that you go through on a day-to-day basis with your kids really affect the big picture, you know, the most, honestly.
Yeah.
So I want to talk about the micro interactions with our kids, right? Whether it's the car ride to school, whether it's watching a movie together, whether it's just having a conversation or, getting their perspective on things and picking up on little words they use and the way they talk about things.
Yeah.
Let's talk about that. I wanna talk about
Well,
that.
I want to say something to what you said on the
Okay.
last episode where, when your children ask you why.
Yeah.
Like when I grew up, my mom, I remember her specifically saying, "Don't be asking me why. Just do what I say." And I always felt like that was fucked up. Like if I'm growing up in this world,
Yeah.
I'm a very observant person. And so if I see something and I have a question, I'm going to ask. And if my mom is like, "Hey, no, you can't do whatever." I couldn't ask her why. And so I'm just sitting there like, what is she just like? She's just like mean to me. Like she doesn't want me to do something
Right.
because she doesn't like
Right.
me, or is it like I always just wanted her to just give me a direct, answer as to why she would come to certain conclusions, or why she would have certain suggestions, or saying, "Hey, I don't want you to hang out with this person." What's wrong with
Yeah.
saying? What's wrong with following up and saying why? So when I became a mom to this very, very inquisitive little boy,
Mm-hmm.
and also my mom was out here in Vegas living with me, so she's seeing how I'm parenting my son a whole lot differently than the way that she did. So when Prince would ask me why, I could see her like in my peripheral, kind of like,
She probably like,
"What the fuck?" Like,
whoa, hold on.
and sometimes she would be like, "Don't be asking your mom, just do it." And I'm like, "Hold on, I can explain what's going on."
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that the next time that I tell him something, he knows why I'm asking
He
him to
just
do
know.
it.
Yeah. And the next time you may not even have to tell him because he know from before.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I think, when it comes to our children, we should do our best to give them all the information that they need to make good choices out here. Like if I tell Prince, "Hey, um, by 9 o'clock, I need X, Y, and Z to be done." And then I let him know what the consequences are if he doesn't do that thing. So that if he decides to not get X, Y, and Z done, he can't complain about the
Yeah,
consequences
you signed up for that.
because you
Yeah,
know
you
what it
signed up for
is.
that.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So yeah,
Yeah.
it's the little
Yeah.
things like that are so important to their development. When
Yeah.
because I always think about like Prince will probably be a dad someday. I want him
Absolutely.
to be able to have the vocabulary and have the articulation to speak to his children, and they
Yeah.
just understand.
100%. And I think it's important as well because it's like all of those little interactions when you hear adults talk about their childhoods, right? Like and how rough they had it coming up, just because from like a mental standpoint, even if they weren't physically abused, the kind of emotional trauma that they went through by
Yes.
talking to their parents, they'll get older and be like, "I thought you, like you said, I thought you didn't like me."
Mm-hmm.
And then like the mom will be like, "No, I was just protecting you because XYZ." And then like in that moment, that 30 something year old or 40 something year old adult will be like,
Oh.
"Oh, but we could have nipped this in the bud 30 years ago when
Exactly.
we, you know what I
Yes.
mean, when I asked you this." And like I said, my whole stance on that is not to you owe like you owe it to your kids to like give them a reason that's good enough for them to listen to what you're saying. No, it's not that. They have to listen to you anyway. but just give them more detail about why, because they need to know this moving forward. They need the tools to operate in life.
But you know what I think though? A lot of the times when I look back on like just my aunts, uncles, mom, dad, whoever, whenever they would have that response to just like, oh, you're too young, you wouldn't understand or whatever, sometimes I really think is that they don't know how to articulate that.
Yeah, they didn't have the answer
They
for
don't
you.
have
And
the
instead of them
answer.
telling you, because they were an adult and you looked at them as an authority figure, they felt insecure saying they don't know,
Mm-hmm.
or they felt insecure in that moment getting asked that question. They didn't have an answer. Like
And
my
that's
parents never had a
real.
problem telling me, I don't know, but I'll get you an answer for that. Like if I ask my dad
Mm-hmm.
something, long live my pops. Like I asked my dad something, I promise you, my parents are the reason why I thought adults were just smart, because they always
They got the
seemed to
answers.
say the right thing.
Mm-hmm.
They had an answer for something, or if they didn't have a direct answer, they had a perspective for me. They had a perspective and said, "Well, this is why I think that."
Yeah.
Because I mean, I don't know why they do this. I don't know why the government did that, but this is why I think
Mm-hmm.
because this. And I'll be like, "Well, damn, like okay, cool."
Yeah.
And my pops, every single time he had an my pops, I'm gonna tell you right now, one of the most important things my pops did for me that I do for my baby girl right now is he used to question me when I used to do my homework in front of him. Right, I do my homework and he would ask me, he'd be like 45, like how you get 45? And then in that moment I'll be like, damn, like
How did I
wow.
get 45?
And then he'll be like, nah, you right though. Like, but just you need to prepare yourself for people in the world doubting you when you know you did the right thing. Like, you know you
Mm.
did the right thing. You know you got that answer right. You did the work. Like, what did you do?
Yeah.
What did you do to get that? Tell me. And I tell him, he like, yeah, well, trust that then. Trust the work that you did, because when people doubt you, you need to be able to stand on that and say, yeah, 45. Like,
Mm-hmm.
stand on it. You know what I mean? And I do that right
I
now.
like that.
I do that to my daughter. Listen, it's one of the most important things, and he probably taught me that when I was 5 years old.
But it's not
You know what I
it's not
mean?
something that he taught you. It's something that he was consistent with and you picked up on
Absolutely.
it. You were like, "Oh,
Absolutely.
okay."
And I was like, oh shit, this is, yeah, and I felt like that was great. And
So when
what
you
sparked
got
this
into a
conversation,
certain particular space in your life,
yeah.
you knew how to apply that without even really thinking about it because it
And I
was
felt
already
so
ingrained.
comfortable.
Yeah.
I felt so comfortable standing on what I knew and standing on my statements because he instilled that in me from a little kid, that I was just like, yeah, I did the work. I'm trusting the work that I did to carry me in this conversation right now. If
That's
you
right.
doubt me, that means you did something wrong. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? Like that's how I felt. So, but what sparked this whole conversation was there was this video going around. I don't know if you saw it or not, but it was a dude. He was probably like going to work or something like that. He's backing his truck out his front yard or whatever, and his son ran out and he's like, Dad, he's calling for him. And the dad, he sees him, he pulls the truck back up and he hops out and he's like, what? Like, what's up? And the son is like, can I have a hug? And the dude got down there, gave him a real big hug and, patted him on the back and he was like, all right, man, I'll see you later. And he was like, all right, cool. He hopped back in there and he went about his day and the son went back in the house. That very, very small interaction might seem like nothing to some people, but there's a lot of people who that's not their reality and it never was as a kid and as an adult because they didn't have it as a kid. But I looked at that because when I'm about to go to work, or if I'm going to the store, if I'm doing anything, my son will be like, "Can I go with you?" Or like, "Can I?" And I know in those moments, I know what that means to him. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, cool. You know what I mean? Or he'll be like, "Daddy, like, can you give me a hug?" And I'm like, "Yeah." I give him a hug, give him a kiss. Every single day when I take him to school, we got our whole routine. I take him in class, I give him a hug, I give him a kiss, give him a handshake. Like, all right, bro, I'll see you later. And that's like he relies on that. Like that's what it is. You know what I mean? But I know it's a lot of kids that don't get it, and it's a lot of adults who never got that growing up. So when I saw it, I wanted to have this conversation with you. What are some of your favorite interactions with Prince that are like like I said, like the micro interactions that contribute to the big picture?
You know how we were talking about, making time.
Mm-hmm.
Our kids, they go to school and they're gone for a certain amount of hours per day. And we're
Mm-hmm.
doing whatever we do. We go to work or work from home, stay at home parents, whatever the case may
Right.
be. But I made a decision that once Prince went back to school this year, that no matter how tired I am, no matter what I did the night before and I'm dragging, I'm going to get up and we're going to have breakfast together before we go to school and just have a moment to spend time and talk about anything, anything. Um,
Yeah.
and because I know what I'm aware of what my son's love languages are. Number one for him is quality time. So boom, we start the day off with quality time. So I get up, and as independent as he is, he can fix his own breakfast. But I decide that I want to do that because I also think about in the future. I want Prince to be like, man, my mom used to get up. She used to make me breakfast.
Hell
She used to
yeah.
wake up and I come downstairs and the food's there. We used to sit down
Mm-hmm.
and I would have her undivided attention. And we would
Mm-hmm.
talk about anything. I want him to be an adult, a
Yep.
grown man, and think about how intentional I was with spending time with him. And so I wake up, I'll fix myself some coffee or some tea. I get his waffles going. I'll cut them up. I got his syrup on the side. And I play jazz music just to have something
mm.
calming
Good
and
little
soothe.
ambiance. Yeah, I
Exactly.
like
Like I'm
that. I
setting a
like that.
mood.
I like that.
Also, at the beginning of the year, I was like, Prince, we need to, you need to use your alarm clock. Very first day of school, that alarm clock went off and he just started crying. And I was like, oh, wait. And I thought about it. I was like, who wants to wake up to the sound of a blaring alarm
Boy,
clock? Who
boy.
wants to be startled awake like that?
Yeah.
No. So I was like, no, I'm going to wake him up after his food is ready. I got jazz playing on my phone. So he, goes in, wash his face, and then he come downstairs to a
Mm-hmm.
peaceful
Yes.
place.
I'm so fucking glad you said that, man. Oh, I'm so far. I am. I really am glad you said that because we we take our kids' feelings into consideration. If you can believe it or not, out there in listener land,
Right.
um,
Our children are people.
yeah, and I say that because there are a lot of parents who, and I saw like some of my cousins go through this kind of shit, or like people that I knew go through this kind of shit where they getting woke up like, get your ass up.
Right.
I just told you. I told you to, and it's like the very first interaction of your day is chaotic and it's an argument. With us, I understand how my son is. Some days he got it in him, some days he don't.
Mm-hmm.
The days he don't, we gotta pick up the slack for him. Hey, look, bro, I wake him up gently. Hey, bro, you ready to eat? You got your food over here. You all right? All right, cool. Yeah, let's do this. Whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And because to start the day off like with love, you know what I'm saying? Like let's
Yes.
start the day off in a positive space. Even if you ain't in the best mood, let's start it off in a positive space. I don't
Mm-hmm.
want you to wake up thinking that this is what's going on and this is the energy you gotta exist in. So I love that you said that. Like I love
Yes.
it because a lot of people don't take their kids' feelings into consideration. They just be like that's what I spoke about in the last episode. Do it because I said so.
But
Get up, do
but what
this.
people don't
Like,
understand, because they'll say stuff like, well, the world isn't gonna be that, but like
and that's why you should be it for them.
it's like, why do you want to be
That's
your
exactly
kid's
why.
first bully? Like why do you want to be
Yeah.
that for them?
They should change that to the world is already tough enough. Why I can't be the love for you?
Exactly.
The world is already tough
Because
enough. That world out there don't give a fuck about you. I do. We do.
that's it. And my thing is like, I want to show him what love and what peace is, so that when he goes out into the world and he sees people operating in chaos, he's like, I don't like that. And so
Yeah.
I'm not gonna allow that in my life.
Yeah, that's not my jam. I don't want to go over there for that. I'm
Mhm.
cool on that. Yeah,
And
no,
like
one
that's
thousand percent.
like a lot of people who, think like they'll say, oh, my parents been together for like 30, 40 years, but their parents have like a toxic relationship, right? And so when they go out into the world, they think that that's okay and that's what they should have as well. And
Right.
it's like, well, my
Just because
parents
it's
are
been
like that. And
lasting.
it's like,
Yeah.
but that's actually not
Yeah.
healthy, but they're not getting a healthy example in the home. So the cycle
Yeah.
is just going to continue because no one said that this
Absolutely.
is not okay. What
Yeah.
I'm trying to
Yeah.
show Prince is like, I want you to understand like time and like have a little bit of a sense of urgency, but like don't operate within chaos. That's not a normal
Right.
and okay thing because
Yeah.
it's going to manifest itself in your body physically and emotionally. You're just
Yeah, it's gonna show.
yeah, it's going to show. I want him to
100%.
know what peace is so that as he grows into himself, he wants that for himself as well. I want him to, like, when I tell him to clean his room, I'm not just saying it just because like we might have guests coming over or no. I want you to understand like operating in a clean space.
the importance of having a clean, organized space and what it can do for you and how to make you feel. When you sit up in there in that clean room, it just feels
It
better
feels
to
good.
just chill and do nothing. Yeah, you
Yeah.
know what I mean? Like in the morning, my baby girl, like our kind of bond in the morning when I take baby girl and my son to school is music,
Hmm.
right? Like my son loves Nas. Loves Nas.
Wait, hold on. When did this happen?
I'm gonna give you the whole story.
Okay. This is
So
crazy.
he loves Nas. So I'm gonna tell you, he was watching his videos, right? He got these characters that he loves, these like scary characters that he loves, right? Siren Head and whoever else the fuck, like he loves them. There's this video apparently that the Tears for Fears song plays, that everybody wants to rule the world song plays, right? He loves that song, like loves that song. He'll sing it in the house, loves it. So I was like, I wonder if he'll like the Nas and A. Marie song Rule.
Yeah.
Got in the car one day. I played the song. I looked back at him. He said, he was looking at me. He was like, he kind of gave me a look. And then Nas on the beginning of it, he like, Nas, he says his name, like Nas. And then, the song goes on. A. Marie does the hook and everything and, the song, whatever, right? So he said he wanted to hear it again. So I'm like, all right, cool. Like, I'll play for you again. The day after that, he got in the car and said, Daddy, I want to hear Nas. And I was like, okay.
I would have burst into tears. The
I said,
happiest
okay.
tears.
I was like, okay, cool. Like, what we doing here? So I played it. So one day, this is the reason why I knew he thought the name of that song was Nas and not the artist, because I played a different Nas song. And he was like, "This is not Nas." I said, "No, bro. Nas is the person, not the song." He was like, "Nah, it's not Nas." I put the other song on. He was like, "Yeah, this is not." And I was like, because he said his name. He said his name on a million songs. Like, this is not. Name of the song is not Nas. Like, this is the guy who made this. You know what I
Oh
mean?
my
But
God.
he loves Nas. Like, loves him. So when I played that, I played I Can. My baby
Yes.
girl loves that. He loves that song. Like, it's and shout out to Nas, man, because like he's the fucking greatest, bro. Like,
Yeah.
let's just be real about it, man. Nas is the greatest. So yeah, like it's music. With my daughter, it was Biggie.
Hmm.
Our favorite song collectively is "We Gonna Make It." You know what I'm saying? Like,
Wow.
as a family, our favorite song is "We Gonna Make It." I played the song in the car with both of them in the car, and like
Wow.
they loved it. So my son, he started walking around, and this shit about to make me tear up right now, saying like almost. We was walking around, we was walking into the store, and he was like, "Daddy," he was like, "We gonna make it," and I was like, "Whoo, shit."
I'm telling
Man, we
you.
are. We are gonna make it. You're
Oh,
right. We are gonna make it. You know what I'm saying? Like, and so it's those moments, like those little moments like that, to listen to what you want to hear.
hmm.
And I'm gonna play the songs you want to hear,
Yeah.
and not just the shit that I want to hear.
Yeah.
Those are things that parents don't always do and have not always done. Their kids request a song, and it's like, you gonna listen to my music, and
Right.
I'm in the da da da
Right.
whatever. And it's like, to a certain extent, okay, cool. But I peeped that baby girl takes it a step further, and she told me the difference between two of her gym teachers, her PE teachers. She said that one of the PE teachers will just play the music that she likes and will not participate in none of the workouts that the kids do. And the other PE teacher will take suggestions from the class, play what they want to hear, and she'll actually get out there and walk with them. And I said, the reason why you like that other one is because it's interactive. It's giving you something to strive for. It's giving you something to, you know what I mean? Not everybody works out to the same music. I don't work out to the same music I ride around to.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I listen to something different. So the fact that that lady is taking your feelings into consideration and she's getting out there with you,
Yes.
you like that. You
Yes.
you can recognize that and appreciate that, because it's the same thing that I do at home. It's the same thing that we do at home. It's the environment that we're nurturing, and she recognizes that in other people outside the house.
Bingo. Bingo. Wow. Yeah. I
Yeah,
think
I'm noticing these
so.
things.
The underlying thing here is, I guess, what we're both saying is that we're paying attention to what makes our children happy. What we're paying attention to, the things that they like, the things that they enjoy. I think sometimes a lot of parents want to put what they like onto their kids and then get offended if they ain't feeling it. Like, I remember I
Yeah.
played what cartoon was it? I think it was like Animaniacs or something.
Mm-hmm.
And Prince was just like, hmm. But then I had to sit back and be like, well, he's not really going to understand it because it's very pop culture heavy.
Yeah, he wasn't
So
there.
he
He
wasn't
wasn't.
there to understand these
It's not his
references.
era.
He doesn't know
Yeah.
who the hell Steven Spielberg is.
Right. He doesn't
He
understand why
doesn't
that joke would be funny. It's
exactly.
just not. Yeah.
And like,
Yeah.
Prince, he loves Kid Cudi, he loves Kendrick
Mm-hmm.
Lamar, he likes Nas
Mm-hmm.
too. Um,
Oof.
but now that he's really heavily into video games, the music in video games is very important. Because I know you can
Yeah.
hear a song that used to be played in a video game from back in the day, and you're going to be taken back to that time and place. So
Wiz
now,
Khalifa got a song right now called Miss Right for Now, and he got a Sonic the Hedgehog sample in there. It's like the Green Hill Zone 2 song in there.
wow.
It's the fucking it's dog. Listen,
You
I'm telling you
text
right
that to
now. If
me,
you listen to that
please.
song, I'm about to send it to you. I'm about to send it to you right now so you can hear this shit like live
Because
on the fucking
literally Prince is
yeah.
into Sonic the Hedgehog. So when I
No,
took
look.
him to
Oh yeah, I
see
know.
Sonic
I
2,
remember the.
yeah,
I
yeah.
remember when.
You know what? I'm gonna have to like put a clip in for those who will watch this on YouTube.
Oh
I'll put the
man.
clip in so y'all I'm
Oh
gonna catch y'all up to
man.
speed on while we cracking up.
Yeah.
I think my favorite song may be Sticky. I'm the owner of Bikini Honey. And honey's kind of sticky, so I'm like,
You know
I
what? That's
kind
the
of like the
first thing that came
double
to my mind.
entendre here.
The first thing that came to my mind was honey, of course. Like actually I bought some aloe vera from the farmer's market, cut it myself, you know what I mean, all that. And I used it and it was like it did the
Yeah. The sticky strings. Ooh.
yeah, it was holding on, you know what I mean? It was pretty I got way out here with it and I was like, I look like Sonic on the doing the, you know what I'm saying? Doing the, you know what I'm saying?
You're gonna ruin that for me because my son does that. My son really thinks he's Sonic. Please. Now I don't think it's nasty shit. Thank you.
Man, that's I got a tear in my eye from this shit right now, man. Holy shit! But I'm about to send it to you right now
Yeah.
so you can hear the you're gonna hear it right away too. And it's one of my favorite games ever. Sonic is one of my favorite characters ever.
And
I put my kids up on Garfield, like Garfield and Friends, the original one.
yeah.
And they watch it. I'll put that shit on. They'll put their tablets down and watch it. That's how serious it is. You get a kid.
Is
Put
this
their
not
tablet
on
down, saying something. That's on it's on the flight school tape,
Oh, okay. So it's not something
the
recent.
mixtape.
YouTube be like, hey, you gotta watch
You gotta
both of
watch
these
9 ads,
ads.
nigga. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Mm-hmm. Prince gonna lose it. He gonna lose it. You hear it. You hear it immediately.
So Wiz, Ty Dolla
Mm-hmm.
Sign, and what's your boy Yachty? They have a song called
Mm-hmm.
"Speed Me Up" on the Sonic 2 soundtrack.
Yeah. Yeah.
So in the
Okay.
mornings, because I know Prince sometimes, he's in a chill mood. So we're listening to jazz while we eating breakfast. He gets dressed. And then when I take him to school, I have a playlist of songs that Prince likes.
Yeah.
So I go to his playlist and I just put it on
Hell
shuffle
yeah.
and let something come on. But recently I've been putting on Speed Me Up. And he's getting into it because, it involves everything that he loves. He loves video games. He loves music, and Sonic
Yep.
is his shit. And so he's
Yeah.
he's hyped up. So he's ready to go to school and just go in there and have a great day.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't wait to play this for him. Oh,
You gotta pop that up on him. You gotta surprise him with that.
I'm like, hey,
You gotta surprise him with that one.
the guy who
Yeah.
raps on "Speed Me Up"? Here's another song. He's gonna go crazy.
Yeah. Shout out to him. Yeah. Nah. That's a fact. But yeah. I mean, just to kind of again like about this conversation about the micro interactions. I think a lot of parents should should pay more attention to the micro interactions because that's what contributes to the big picture overall. You want your kids to be good people. You want them to be, whatever, successful people, honest people. Give them good habits right now to take with them later, and it starts with you. Because a lot of times, even you find the most toughest, the most gangster, the most I don't give a fuck person, and you put their parents or their grandparents in front of them, and you will see tears because those are the people who taught them life, and those are the
Caregivers.
people who they care about the most. They care about their opinions and their views the most.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like regardless of whatever the situation is. So, why not be your kid's first lesson in love and your kid's first lesson in like people caring about them and shit, man. Like I said, the world outside is already tough enough. You ain't got to prepare. Like the way I feel about parenting, all the generations that's before us were parenting for an era that didn't exist anymore once they had kids.
Ooh.
So it's like they were raising their kids the way that they were raised, not knowing that the future is not going to be like, it's not going to be just like how it was when you was coming up.
Exactly.
So you can't equip them for the next battle if you're giving them the old weapons and the outside got new armors and new defenses and shit. Like, no, it's not that.
Sending them kids out with a bow and arrow and niggas got guns.
Yeah.
It's like, oh fuck.
Yeah, like you can't do it. It's like you look at sports. You can't have a quarterback that can't run no more. There was a time when, you know, a running quarterback was like a novelty, and it was no, you need one now.
Great example.
There's no way you need one. You need somebody that can move. It don't gotta be Michael Vick, but they gotta be able to at least move when, you know, shit collapse out there. They gotta be able to get you 3-4 yards. They have to be.
Yeah.
There's no way around it.
Yeah.
So, you know, that I think that right now more than ever, it's important for us to pay attention to how we came up, and don't rely on so much of, well, it worked for me, so it must be right. No, bro, no. Don't think that just because you're here, you made it or whatever. That is no. Like there's ways to look at things. You know, y'all do know that teams that win games still look at film, right? They look at they still, when they win that game, the coach still make them look at film and say, yeah, we won, but look at that play right there. You still did the wrong thing on that assignment. We just got away with it.
There's still room to improve.
There's room to improve even in wins. You know what I'm saying? That's kind of what we trying to say, man. But yeah, man. And I knew that conversation was going to be as good as it was, because that's just what we do when we come together and talk about, you know, shit like that. I do want to talk about the Drake album. For sure. You know how I feel about Drake.
How do you feel about Drake?
I love Drake.
Okay.
Love him. Proud member of the Owl Boys. Shout out to Big Wise.
Okay.
We're gonna be partners.
Right. Shout out to Wise. What's good?
I sent the bat signal. I sent the owl signal out. Was it yesterday? At the time we recording this, I sent it out like yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
He was like, "Yeah, I'm ready." So yeah, it's time, man.
Okay.
So the new album is out for all the dogs. You know what I mean? And I think the discourse around the album has been very, very interesting. But I'll start with your take on the music itself. You had a chance to check the album out, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool.
Okay.
So I can kind of tell where this is probably going. Let's get your take on the music first. We'll get to the discourse on the album after.
Oh, it's a very short take. I'm very uninspired. It took me 3 days to complete that album. I was bored.
Is it because it was 23 songs?
I was bored. Okay. Everything took my attention away from it. I was so like underwhelmed, and I'm not even going to say that I was expecting him to come out with this like banger, but I was really hoping that I could enjoy it more than I did. So
are there no redeeming quality? Is there not one song on the album that you go back to?
I love the fact that Sexy Red is on there. Love that.
That song is good.
Yeah,
too.
and I know that pissed a lot of people off, but I like that.
Yeah, I'm not the demographic for that song at all, and I still love it. That's how I know it's a good song.
Because my thing is, I like all hip hop. Mm-hmm. I love female rappers. I love when they get to do their thing, especially when that's like, you know, if he was to have like City Girls on there again, people, oh, why you got these girls? Because all they talk about is blah, blah, blah. So what?
Yeah.
Let's have something for the women. Yeah. Like, all y'all want to do is scare the hoes away. Let's have some fun. Let's have some fun in music again. Like, if you want to hear niggas just talk about gun and drugs and shit, you know who to go listen to.
Absolutely. This is
so
a choice.
I love the fact that he gave the women something to bop to. I love that. That was the redeeming quality of it. But other than that, it's not like, hey, I'm about to go listen to this Drake because, you know, I got Bikini Honey. I'm in there sewing up my swimsuit. So I'm always 100%. Looking for a project to listen to. Because I have the time to actually listen to a project straight through.
That's a fact.
But many things took my attention away. And I was like, oh shit, I was listening to that Drake. Let me go back to that. And I was like,
go back to that.
Here we go. Let's finish this album.
Oh man, damn! It felt like homework to you. That's crazy.
It felt like homework. It was a chore. It was on my to-do list, and I'm like, oh, all right, let's listen to this.
Damn. I mean, well, Your breakdown of the album, and your perspective on the album sounds very much like a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
Quite frankly, they looking at it and they like, yeah, man, it's just another tape. I fuck with the album, um,
Okay.
but it's not like I'm saying I fuck with the album like, oh my god, it's album of the year, like it's the best shit Drake has ever done. I'm not there with it. I do like the album. There's a lot of songs on this album that have been stuck in my head since it dropped that I've been fucking singing randomly in grocery
And
stores
that's
and
the
wherever.
thing.
Like,
I don't have any of that.
yeah, yeah, yeah. That's why this conversation is perfect because you're on one side of it, and then I'm on the other side of it. This is a perfect
Mm-hmm.
breakdown of the album. I like it, but I think here's the thing about Drake. He had this quote a while back. I want to say it was some months ago. It could have even been last year. He had this quote where he was talking about the afterlife, the thought about the afterlife, and he hoped that the life that he's living right now is not just for nothing. He hoped that there's more. Right? He got a song called "Is There More?" Right?
Mm-hmm.
To me, that said that when people ask for this quote unquote mature content, whatever kind of content you want from Drake, he's done that. He's done, the Club Paradise and the U and the Six, and he got a bunch of joints that you can probably put together on a playlist and make a very introspective Drake
Can you do
playlist
that?
on your own if you want.
No.
I can.
Can you?
I
No,
actually can.
seriously. I would
For
love
sure.
that. We can
The
definitely
introspective
get back
joints,
to
yeah.
having a moment where
Absolutely.
you put the listeners on, like, hey.
Absolutely, I will. I'll put together that list of songs that's like, yeah, these are the joints that you probably want to go to if you want introspective, thought provoking Drake, right?
Yeah.
But what it told me was that him living in the moment is a big part of who he is and why he's been on top of the game for so long because he's always been able to change with the times and it never felt like he was old news at any moment. It always felt like that's why people are like, oh, he's always on this wave or that wave. And it's like, yeah, because most of the time he's dictating it. Now I think that he's sitting back from a fan perspective of the music that he's making. And he's like, let me see my take on that. I like what the young kids is doing with that type of beat over there. Let me get one of those and let me make one of those. Let me do a Drake version of these young kids song. I'm not saying whether it's the right thing to do. I'm just saying that's where he's at in his life. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what he's on. And on the album, he spoke about being one away from Michael, which tells me that his goals are bigger than just like the hip hop, the hibbity hip hop fan that's like, man, nigga, we want you to just rap, nigga, we want you to just grow up. And he like, okay, cool, maybe one day, but right now I'm trying to pass Michael. I beat the Beatles already. I'm trying to pass Michael. When I pass Michael, maybe I'll come back around and talk to you niggas that's on the corner selling dimes for 9 and shit like that. Maybe. But for right now, I'm gonna be on this. So I do enjoy the album a lot. I saw a lot of discourse about it, about people saying like the content ain't mature. It's not. I don't know if people remember or not, but when we watched our favorite rappers grow up, they weren't received the best way. Like JC wasn't received the best way when he told niggas to put a suit on and go do this and do that. Niggas was like, man, we trying to hear the old man. Come on with that. We trying to hear Jigga, man. We was trying to hear that shit. It took for Jay-Z to show us what success looked like as a rapper, as a grown man, for niggas to be like, oh shit.
But I disagree with you on that because when Jay-Z changed his style up, everybody did too. When he said, them jerseys ain't it, niggas wearing wearing 3X button ups with with jeans and S dots. It was
he did that Black Album Jay-Z, yes.
Mm-hmm.
But music wise, when the music got a little different is what I'm talking, like Kingdom Come. Because Black Album Jay-Z told niggas, hey man, y'all niggas acting way too tough. Throw on the suit, get it taped up. And I saw people that I was in high school with, saying they was 30 plus and they wasn't wearing jerseys.
Right,
like, you 17 like me, my nigga, cut it out. So yeah, no, we in a total agreement on that. But music wise, when he came back and he did Kingdom Come, that music was a little different. He had the joint with Beyonce, the Hollywood joint, the joint with Usher, and all of that. People was like, man, we ain't trying to hear this shit, bro. But that was grown up, adult, have fun music. People wasn't trying to hear that shit at the time. It's people right now going back, revisiting, listening to Kingdom Come, saying, "Oh, he has some joints on here."
Yeah. I literally just saw something like 2 days ago. People talking about it.
Yeah. But at the time, niggas was like, yeah, he's done. Like niggas was calling him Jordan on the Wizards. They was like, oh, he got to retire. Yeah, it's over with. Cam called him that. Like he's Jordan on the Wizards now, bro. He's still good, but come on, we enough is enough. Old nigga, go hang it up. It didn't hit until you see 444, right? Like he had albums in between, yeah, that people fuck with. Magna Carta.
Hated
Niggas
it.
didn't like most people didn't like.
Hated
See,
it.
absolutely, exactly. But the shit that he was talking about on that was where he was at in his life.
Yeah.
So if we're to believe that rappers rap about what's going on in their life, then I think at this point it's safe to say that people just don't like the life that Drake is living. It's not about the music. We just don't like the life that you live in. Because if you're rapping about your life and you're making the music that's relevant to your life, you still living a young life then. You know what I'm saying? And we just but also this is important. The nigga was a teen star. I don't know how much of a childhood he had. Like if he was able to,
Right. Yeah.
you know what I mean? So
To
Nas
live
famously,
life. Right.
yeah, I don't know. You know, Nas famously got the song Second Childhood, where it's like you got these people who grow up and do all these great things, and then they go back and they want to live a little bit of their childhood they missed out on. Because you paying bills when you was 13, 14, and you was sick get a household when you was 15, 16. Now that he's 36, this might be the first time where his financial freedom has granted him the access to like to live the life that he wanted to live on the way up. And
Right.
so now that he's there, he's like, let me take advantage of this shit. Let me, and it looks a certain way. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And I haven't said anything on any platform, Twitter. I haven't done anything on a show that I've produced or
Yeah.
host. But
Yeah.
because my thing is, when it comes to music that I just don't relate to, I just don't listen to it, or I don't
And
listen
that's
to
the
the
best thing to
artist.
do.
Like I don't follow Drake on Instagram. I
Yeah.
don't really partake whenever he has an album that's coming out. It's like, well, I'll give it a run through, and if I don't like
Yeah.
it, then I
Then it
just
is what it is.
yeah,
Yeah.
maybe I'll revisit it later. Maybe
Maybe you'll hear it out when you at a spot and be like,
I'm
"Oh,
like,
okay, this
wait,
is all right."
yeah,
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 yeah, yeah.
because
Because you
sometimes
did come around on the Beyonce joint. You did
I
on the Breaking My
did,
Soul. You
I
did, and I
did,
told you day one when it dropped. I told you.
yeah, and I'm gonna be real too. I wasn't always big on Kendrick Lamar.
A
Where
lot of
I
people weren't.
was in my life when To Pimp a Butterfly came out, I was not in a space to receive
It was
whatever he
yeah.
was talking about. I was like, I just became a mom, so I was more on this like Janae Aiko wave. I'm not trying to
Absolutely.
hear about what he was talking about in that moment. But when
Yeah,
I
you was like,
circled
go ahead with
back,
that shit, man.
like
Yeah.
King Kunta, I was like, okay. He was like, I got a bone to pick. I was like, okay.
You know
Uh,
who's like that too? You know who's like that a lot too? Who I didn't like at first, and I think that it was because they were like way too relatable, and I was listening to music to get away from that kind of shit. Was Wale? Wale's a very, very,
oh.
very vulnerable dude in his music and
Mhm.
introspective, and talks about his anxiety. And this, I think, the album About Nothing is a classic. If any other artist that people love made the album About Nothing and had Seinfeld on it, they will be raving about that to this day. I love that album a lot.
Yeah.
But Wale was a guy like that. He was way too relatable to what was going on in my life at the time, whether it was women, whether it was personal shit, whatever. And I was just like, yeah, I think I'm cool. And that's a real thing.
I can absolutely understand that. But some
Yeah.
people are looking for something that they can relate to right now, and Drake isn't
Yeah.
giving them what they want. And so they're like, oh man, I just wish he would grow up. And I get it. Me and Drake were born in the same year. I'm like a month and a half younger
Right.
than Drake. And so
Right.
he's a parent. He has things that I wish that he would. I know he has a bag that he could go into and
Yeah.
give us
I
what.
think, but I think it's still time for him to do that. I think he still might touch on that. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? Like whenever he, I guess like feels the need. I just think right now he got different goals. Like he just has a different agenda than what I guess like his. I don't even want to say like his core fans, because his core fans. He has a lot of core fans from different age groups because he
Yeah,
pleases so many people.
yeah.
You know what I mean? Like he wears a lot of hats when it comes to music.
Like
Got the
he,
pop Drake.
the ladies love him, and then you
Yeah.
got the 25-year-old boys who like, yo, that's that
Yeah.
dude.
And then you got the 19-year-old kids that's like, man, Drake. So it's like, if you have an artist that can appeal to a 35-year-old man and a 19-year-old girl, there's going to be some type of conflict where it's like, okay, bro, who are you? Because there's no way that these two people should love you the same way. Like, what's going on? So I get that.
Yeah,
I just think Drake is, for the most part, I mean, he is who he is.
What I would, in a dream world, in a perfect world, Drake would put an album out like every 3 years. I think that it's important as an artist to live life.
And not be
So,
so wrapped up in it. Yeah,
like
yeah,
I'm tired of the microwavable. Like every year you're putting out like two projects, and it's like I don't have time to really take in, and then I can't tell certain songs apart. You're talking about the same thing. It's like sometimes you just got to take a step back and actually live. Like, a lot of people didn't really care for what Kendrick was talking about on Mr. Morale. He's talking about
yeah.
therapy and things, but that's what he took time to
But
live.
that's
Like,
where he at.
had
Yeah,
two kids. We didn't know what was going on in his life.
yeah. And so
And he
you
gave
see
us
in real
something like,
time.
hey, this is what's going on. Let me catch you up. This is where I am in my mind or
Think
where I
about this:
was.
when J. Cole dropped "For Your Eyes Only," I want to say it was back in like 2016. I could easily look this up right now, but it's whatever, right? Like 2016, 2017, something like that.
Yeah.
He had a song called "Folding Clothes," like where he was talking about, "I want to fold clothes for you. I want to, talking about almond milk and all this type of shit or whatever." And at that point in his life, his girl was introducing him to a whole different side of happiness that he had never felt before from anybody. So it was like a lot of people shit on that album completely and was like, "This nigga talking about folding clothes." These are probably dudes who didn't go through that yet or they haven't
Right.
experienced that yet. So it's like you would not like that song.
Yeah.
So if you're a person that's not in the club at 36 or you're not dealing with these type of women at 36, you're not probably gonna like the Drake shit. But if you are, and there's a lot of dudes who, let's be real, who are much older than Drake that are living the life he's rapping about, they just don't want to hear about it because it's too relatable to them. Because they like, damn, they telling Drake to grow up and niggas telling him to grow up. I don't want to hear that nigga rapping about the shit that you know what I mean? So it's a lot of people that's triggered
Yeah.
by the shit he talking about because that conversation and that narrative can fit them. So I understand what it is when it comes to this music shit.
Yeah.
That's why I'm not knocking anybody who doesn't like it. If you don't like it, it just means you're looking for something different. I don't think anybody's bugging for not liking Drake shit. I don't think
that's my
they're
thing.
lying.
It's the people who are like, oh, you just don't know music or you just don't know blah blah
Nah,
blah. And it's like
no, that's not it.
This we live different lives. You can't say what
That's
I'm
it, man.
supposed to like and why.
We
Like,
got
what do you
different.
mean?
Your reality is yours and
Yeah,
mine is mine. That's
exactly.
just where we are in life right now. Like if listening to Nas shit, there's a lot of people that cannot relate to Nas shit, but they like it because they aspire to be that one day. So it's not always about the things that you can relate to because you're going through it. It's things that you aspire to be. Maybe the people that don't like the Drake shit are looking at that because, like you don't want a man that's that age that's still doing the shit that Drake talking
At
about.
all.
So you're not gonna like that music. Like you know what I mean? So I understand it completely. I would never say nobody's bugging. I enjoy the music because I don't look for rap niggas to raise me or like to teach me anything. Like about
Yes.
if you do, it's a bonus.
Yeah.
It's an absolute bonus because I got good people in my life and I had great male figures and and women in my life my whole life, right? And I understand that's a blessing to have that. But I don't look for y'all to raise me. If you give me some information I didn't have, I appreciate it greatly. But I can just take the music for what it is and move on. Like,
Yeah.
I like the music.
Yeah.
I can sing the melodies and I like it and it's cool. And that's just where I'm at with it. You know what I mean? But it's a lot of people that's like really.
But there were a
on
few
some shit
things I
about
will
this.
say that kind of turned me off. He said something about like you need me to teach you this or like, and I was just
on the
like,
slime you out
"Ooh,
joint.
this
Yeah.
was so misogynistic," and
It's talking to the young girls.
it
You
felt
know, you already know
gross.
what that's about.
But
Yeah.
there's a lot of men who really think this way, and so they're feeling
Yeah.
validated. Like, well, Drake said it, and so this is how
And
we
they
need
be
to
10
treat
years
these
older than
women.
Drake.
And it's
That'd be
like
the part that niggas be
exactly,
forgetting.
and it's like, yeah, this is how we supposed to treat these females. Like, like yo, at some point you have to grow up and say, hey, I just wish that there were more men with these huge platforms that show Black women love.
For sure.
That's
Yeah,
that's
100%.
women in
100%.
general, but specifically Black women.
Yeah, I get that. Yeah.
But yeah.
Nah, and again, like
He'll get
like I
there.
said, when we talk about music, like it's always just like it's always fun to talk about the music with you because I always get another perspective that I have not got from anywhere else. You know what I mean? And that's definitely a perspective that I have not got from
Let me tell
anywhere
you
else.
something.
No tweet, no post, no nothing.
It gave me an icky feeling. Because it's triggering to some women when they hear things because they're like, oh, that reminds me of my ex, or that reminds me of my dad, or that reminds me of someone
And
that
I
they
get
know
that.
on the internet who is out here speaking a certain way about
Yeah,
women.
I get that.
And you're just
Yeah.
like, wait, like, that's not,
And yeah, that's yeah.
that
And
doesn't,
and
why are you like,
100%.
and it's so, and you have so many young female fans, and
Yeah,
they're
and you
thinking
going with
like,
that, yeah.
okay, well, Drake said it, then I guess it's okay for a man to talk
Yeah.
to me this way, or to
And
try to have this certain influence over my life. It's like,
and that's why I understand like all the discourse I've been seeing about it. I try to understand everybody's perspective on it because I'm like that's their reality. You listen to music based on what your reality is. If I'm
yeah,
listening to a nigga rap about some shit that I don't, you know what I'm saying, that I'm not fucking with, it's like you can tell me it's the best shit ever, but I just don't like the message or the
yeah,
messenger. I'm just cool on it,
yeah,
like you know, and that's cool. So I like that. I like that. I like that. I think that might have been the best. That's probably the best conversation that I've heard or seen about Drake. I'm not just being biased because it's me, because it's you, but it was just a perspective. Like, yo, I like this shit. I don't like it. Like, you know, it is what it is. Before we go,
oh boy. Whenever Mari laughs like this, just brace yourself. Jesus.
no, this is good. This is going to be good. Anyway, I always do like a gym for life before y'all get out of here, right? Like there's always something that I'm giving you either advice about or just perspective about
It's
or
my
whatever.
favorite part of the show.
Yeah, man, I appreciate it, man. It's my favorite part to do, honestly. Like it's one of the most, I don't know, like it's liberating. It's fucking, it's just fun for me to do.
And it's very
It's even
relatable.
yeah, and I love it because like when people hit me up, whether it's text or DM or call or whatever, and they're like, man, that's what you said about that, like. Damn, you know what I mean. Last episode I talked about fulfillment. If you haven't checked that out, please do yourself a favor and check that out. But today, what I want to talk about, and I do have a special episode for like the end of the year plan that I want you to join me for again. We
Okay.
do like a wrap up, which you know that's whatever. But I want to talk about the importance of having good people, right? Like good people around you, good people in your circle, good people that's really out here for you, and people that will have like got your back, keep your name in rooms in a positive way when you're not even there and shit like that. People that hold you down. Bethany and I, man, we started working together what
2020.
2021
2020.
2020, right?
Mm-hmm.
So 3 years ago, right? It feels like forever
It
ago.
does.
And immediately you can just tell like, okay, this is a different kind of energy that I'm dealing with. This is a different kind of person. Um Over the years, we've been through a lot of shit together, like right there together. And because of those things, like we've grown closer and we just had a bond because like naturally she's a good person. We share a lot of the same interests and we like minded. But 2022 is what I would say is what really showed me like who Bethany is and like what she's about because 2022 was a year where I was in a situation where like boy, I won't go into detail
Yeah.
because it's not worth it. Like it's really not worth my time and my energy.
Right.
But I will say that I was in a situation where I saw I saw things for what they were and not for what I wanted them to be.
Mm.
I'll leave it there. And Bethany showed me exactly who she was through all of it. You know what I mean? Like we like at every single step of the way, every turn, she showed me exactly who she was, and she showed me exactly what she thought of me. As much as she told me she believed in me and she liked what I'm doing and she think I'm dope and this, that, and the third, she showed up for me and showed me that, yeah, nigga, I told you I believe in you. Like, you still want to do that pod? Let's do it. Like, come up with a name for it and we gonna record it. And I'm like, yes, ma'am. All right, cool. And I came up with the name and she said, all right, what you want to record? I'll produce the whole shit for you. Let's do it. And I was like, and now we 24 episodes later and she's still doing exactly what she said she was going to do. So I do want to take this time out to tell her thank you, and I appreciate her and I love her because you don't get that many people in your life that's going to hold you down like that. In 2022, I want to say like the fourth quarter of 2022 and maybe the first 2-3 quarters of 2023. Boy, I was
Yeah.
in a much different space than I am right now. I'm good now. I am. Like I said, we'll talk about that at the wrap up. Whatever. I am good. Boy, it was a lot of shit in 2022, 2023 that went down.
Yeah.
that I was just not good. Just wasn't. I was confused. I was like, damn, like what's going on? And at every step of the way, Bethany was right there. Anytime I needed her, anytime I hit her up, hey, let's do a whatever. She ain't know none of the shit. She probably still don't know half the shit, to be honest. Like I don't do like these dumps on people, these emotional dumps and just tell them everything that's going, whatever. So like it's mad shit that's happened that she probably won't know. Like I said, we'll get to that at the year end pod. I'll probably reveal a lot of things that I haven't talked about yet, things that I just wasn't comfortable talking about. But when we talk about that, we'll get to the bottom of everything. But I do just want to say that, like, keep you some good people around you because she's definitely one of them. You know what I mean? And I wanted to say that. I wanted to use this time to say that.
Thank you. I
Yeah,
appreciate those kind words.
yeah.
Really.
No, it's
No,
real. It's
you're
real shit.
I realized early on that you are a good person. You have great values. You're a great dad. You know what I mean? Like you just have so many great qualities about you. And as much as I love black men, I just want to do whatever I can to see people win. You know, I don't like when people will sit here and blow your head up and be like, man, you can do blah, blah, blah. You can do this. If I can come in and help you reach a goal or show you that you can do something, that's what I would love to do that. That makes me happy because I can see other people living and walking in their purpose. And I
Yeah.
feel like with you, Mari, you're super talented. You have an amazing voice. You have an amazing perspective that I think people should hear. So yeah, let's record. Let me get this out to the people so they can hear this shit. Because you know, sometimes you just go online and you just see so much negativity. You see so much
Always.
hateration and the
Every day.
holleration
All
going
day.
on. And
Yeah.
it's
In the dancery
in
too.
the
In the
dancery,
dancery.
okay? And it's exhausting. Sometimes you just need some good positive energy. You don't know what that can do for people's lives. Just like you giving these gems at the end of every episode, like you don't know what this does for people. I want
Yeah, they might have
everybody to
never
hear
heard
that
it. Yeah.
shit. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
That's a
yes,
fact.
I'm here. I'm here. I want to see people who are
No, you
good
are, and
people
you've
win.
always been there. You always show up, and but a lot of people say that shit. A lot of people, yo, hit me when you need me, or I got you. You could do this, you could do that, and then when the time comes, it's always
It's
something different,
crickets.
or it's always whatever. Yeah, you know what I
Crickets.
mean. That's real shit though, man. You know what I mean. So appreciate those people that show up for you, man. Because man, I'm telling you, when I tell you, Bethany showed up for me in a lot of ways, man. A lot of ways. Like even when she didn't know what she was doing for me, like she did it, and it meant probably way more to me. Not that it didn't mean anything to her, but like it meant way more to me than she probably even knew. Like, cause to her on the surface, because I'm not telling her like what's going on or what I'm going through or whatever. I'm just want to record, and she like, yeah, all right, let's do it. You know what I mean? Let's record, or just go ahead and record. I'll edit it later. I got you. That shit meant the world to me. Like at that time, like you know what I mean? Like, and it still does. So again, keep this episode, put a pin in this episode because later on, when I tell y'all at the end of the year, like when I break down everything I want to share at the end of the
You're
year
gonna
and give
circle
y'all,
back.
you're gonna circle back to this episode and you're gonna be like, oh shit, okay, you know what I mean? So yeah, keep episode 24 close to you because when we do the year wrap up, we do the 2023 wrap up. Oh boy, you don't want to miss that one. But in the meantime, subscribe if you are not subscribed already. Go ahead and give it a 5-star rating because why not? You know what I mean? Tell a friend to tell a friend, man. You know what I mean? And producer Bethany, Professor Bethany. Before we get out of here, you got anything you want to say to the people?
Um, take care of yourselves. Take a moment every day to just breathe, sit in some stillness, look in the mirror and find something that you love about yourself. Lean into positivity. Have a good attitude. I know life is life in everybody right now.
Life,
Okay?
boy.
Everybody. And I say this all the time. Don't take what other people are doing and how they're moving out here. Don't take it personally.
Oh
Everybody is
yeah.
dealing with some shit.
You just gave them a preview of the gym at episode 25.
Oh
God damn.
boy. Look.
Oh boy.
So just try to always just keep yourself in a good space no matter how hard this shit gets. You're going to get through it. We love you.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of people don't hear that. Hey,
That's a
I love
fact.
you. You know what I mean? Like people don't hear those three words, and it really can have a positive impact on your day.
Yeah.
So,
That's a fact.
yes, take care of yourselves out there, people.
Yeah, man. And on that note, man, we out.
Peace.